Are there times when you toss and turn at night thinking, do you wish you could stop worrying in bed? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to do just that. No one likes the way constant worrying makes them feel. So why is it so difficult to stop? The answer lies in our beliefs, both negative and positive, that you have about worrying. On the negative side, you may believe that your constant worrying is going to spiral completely out of control, drive you crazy, or damage your health. While on the positive side, you may believe your worrying helps you avoid bad things, prepare for the worst, or come up with solutions. You may even believe that your worrying shows that you're a caring and conscientious person. Negative beliefs, or worrying about worrying, add to your anxiety and keep it going, much the same way that worrying about getting to sleep often keeps you awake. But positive beliefs about worrying can be even more damaging. It's tough to break the worry habit if you believe your worrying protects you. In order to stop worrying and anxiety for good, you must give up your belief that worrying serves a positive purpose. Once you realize that worrying is the problem, not the solution, you can regain control of your worried mind. Start by identifying the worrying thought, being as detailed as possible about what scares or worries you. Then, instead of viewing your thoughts as facts, treat them as a hypothesis you're testing out. As you examine and challenge your worries and fears, you'll develop a more balanced perspective. Stop worrying by questioning the anxious thought. What's the evidence that this thought is true? That it's not true? Ask yourself these questions to see if the self-talk is in fact untrue. A story about yourself or a situation that you've been telling yourself that is in fact to others not an issue or true. Shattering untrue self-talk can be a liberating and life-changing experience. As an example, there was a time I would often stay up at night, lying in bed, worrying about if I would ever meet someone special. I was in my mid-30s, and most of my friends had already found someone, and many of them had gotten married and had kids. Asking myself if this was true, that I would never meet someone, allowed me to see that this came from my self-talk, that I was talking myself down as not being good enough, or that there was some other reason that people wouldn't want to be with me, like my nose was too big. Is there a more positive, realistic way of looking at the situation? Leading on from the self-talk described previously, we now have the opportunity to reframe the situation in a proactive or positive way, a way in which we can be assertive to create a solution. Going back to my example, I would remind myself that many people saw my special qualities, that I was a kind and patient person, and I began to paint a new self-talk that embodied these beliefs, that I was worthy of a partner. What's the probability that what I'm scared of will actually happen? Is this a realistic concern? In many cases, the thing that you're concerned about doesn't actually happen. In terms of finding a partner, there was always the chance that I wouldn't find that special person for me. And in some ways, coming to terms with that was one part of the equation that freed me up to be the best version of myself and more attractive to others. If the probability is low, what are some more likely outcomes? Picture these alternate outcomes in your mind. Play the scenario through until conclusion and see how things are more likely to happen. I found visualization very helpful for me. In the example scenario, I imagined that I would soon meet that special person. I also imagined waiting many years to meet that person. Each time I thought about the things I would be doing in my life until I met that person. And I'd be doing things that held true to my beliefs and values. And when I envisaged this, it brought a sense of relief that I was going to be a person that I could be proud of. And that was really important to me. Is the thought helpful? How will worrying about it help me? And how will it hurt me? The thought has the benefit of jolting you into action to create the change in your life that you need. Or, if no action is taken, you could continue to fester this worry and it will become more ingrained in your self-talk. This spark motivated me to think of things I could do to have this special person in my life. I could go out with friends if I was available, rather than staying home and doing something else. I could focus my energies on introspection, learning more about myself through journaling and observing the way I viewed the world. I took courses that helped me build my emotional intelligence and my active listening skills. In stretches of time where I wasn't doing these things, it was easy to fall back into this trap of thinking negatively. Continued momentum was the key for me here. What would I say to a friend who had this worry? It's much easier when you aren't emotionally attached to a situation to see things with clarity. You may potentially pose questions like, will worrying about this bring me closer to my goals? Or will it help me work out a solution to a problem? If so, dedicate some time to brainstorming the problem and the potential solution. If it's something I have no control over, recognize that worrying about it isn't going to do me any good and is just absorbing energy that could be used towards something more positive. I knew logically for some time before I made the changes needed, but emotionally I wasn't ready yet to implement them, because making change is always so much more difficult than doing nothing. Doing something can cause short-term pain at the beginning, but doing nothing causes long-term suffering. So if it wasn't just a matter of knowing what a friend would say, I needed to take action by taking the first step. After several attempts, there were days I just wasn't ready to continue making change. What helped me was knowing that every day I had a choice about what I would do in that moment. Every moment was a chance to be who I wanted to be. Finally, one day I said to myself, this is the day, and right now is the moment. If I don't do it now, I never will. And that was the beginning of a new chapter in my life, one of greater love for myself. Sometimes these are things that you can do in bed, especially the visualizations. On other occasions, it might mean getting out of bed, maybe making yourself a herbal tea and sitting down with your notepad until you've emptied all your thoughts and worries onto the page. Many times, what you write on the page might seem so meaningful, and then you read it the next day and it seemed so simple. It can often be the practice of expressing your thoughts and going through these steps that can help you to clear your mind for sleep. Maybe you've tried some of these steps mentioned and have had success. Or perhaps you struggled with one step in particular. Maybe something I haven't mentioned works for you, and you'd like to share it with the community. We'd love to hear. We'll be reading and replying to your comments, so leave your thoughts in the comments below and we'll join in the discussion. If you'd like to learn more about how to get better sleep, simply click on the annotation link in this video. And if you want to learn more about the topic in this video, click on the link in the description below to go through to our site for more articles that explain it in even more detail. And if it's your first time here, we'd love to have you subscribe. Each week we publish videos on relaxation, meditation, sleep, and helping you be the best version of you that you can be. So thank you for letting us be a small part of that. Remember to subscribe, and we'll see you soon.